Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. And it's halftime, baby. Yeah, it's halftime of 2023. And I want to coach you today. I want to coach my tail off for you today so that you can win the second half of 2023. Does that fire you up or what? Hey, as you're listening in here in the United States, it is the 4th of July week. So if you're in the U.S., happy 4th of July. This represents freedom, independence, lots of gratitude. And I'm really, really excited today to share with you, to coach you, regardless of wherever you live around the world, that you're just past the 6-month mark of 2023. That means we have 6 months to go. And as I was reflecting on this specific episode, 309, I'm like, man, I want to just coach my butt off to make sure that when we sit down in 6 months from now and you open up your new 2024 God-sized dreams planner, yes, that's coming, end of the year, I want to make sure when you reflect on 2023, all 12 months, you're like, whoa, that was a great year. We made some course corrections at the halfway mark. And they were pivotal, absolutely crucial for the success and significance that we created. Because truth be told, 6 months ago, let's go back. For those of you who have the God-Sized Dreams Planner, I'm actually holding it in my hands if you're watching the YouTube, right? There's my God-Sized Dreams Planner 2023. And I asked you to answer the, 67 questions in there over a period of a couple weeks. And many of you did that. My big question is, have you stopped and looked at it? Are you taking action on the things that you set forth 6 months ago? Well, if not, don't worry. We're going to course correct today because I want to make sure that you're on point with your God-Sized Dreams Planner and that, yes, all of the rest of this year, we can absolutely dominate it. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was over at Gerald McCoy's football camp in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Did anyone hear us over there? Could you hear me screaming and yelling and coaching my tail off? And Gerald is a man who played 11 years in the NFL. 11 as a defensive tackle. I still remember on week 1, this guy coming into Fitness Quest 10 and jumping up onto a 40-inch box. I'm like, whoa, this guy's different. Now, he was drafted in the first round, 3rd overall pick. And I coached him every offseason. He'd come out and he would train to be the best that he could be. But it got me thinking on the plane ride home. And I love plane rides. I do a lot of good thinking on planes and writing. What do some of the best football coaches, coaches, I'm a football guy, so I love football, but any coach, it doesn't matter the sport. What do the best football coaches do at halftime? They go in the locker room and they make adjustments at halftime so that the team can go out and dominate in the second half. Now, I was reflecting on my career and thinking about Coach Wolf in high school and Coach Laycock in college and my 2 years overseas playing in Europe. All the coaches I've had the chance to either play for or in the last 25 years work with, both in football and sport and, of course, business as well. And that's what I want to do today. I want to coach you. And as a matter of fact, as I coach you today, a few important things that you may want to do to get the most out of today's podcast and coaching session with yours truly. Number one, you may want to actually get your God-Sized Dreams Planner 2023 and open it up and review your answers, right? Maybe you wrote in the actual planner, or maybe you actually typed your answers out, but either way, review it. Number two, make sure as you're listening to this right now, maybe you're out for a walk or a workout, or you're driving, or you're on a plane, or you're on vacation, wherever you're doing here in the month of July, that you think about your answers, but then you come back to this podcast in a couple days or this week, later this week, and I want you to answer the questions that I'm about to pose to you. because you're going to get some great ideas. You're going to get your mind thinking as you hear my voice coach you. But I want to make sure that you take your precious thoughts, you put them onto paper, and they become action steps for what is going to become the most dominant 6 months in your entire history. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Anyone? Anyone? Yeah, good, good. Because right now, look at the timestamp on the podcast. And two things. Number one, take a picture of it right now. Boop. Take a picture of the timestamp on the podcast. Take a picture of that, because this is the point I want you to come back to when you start to do the work, right? When you start to do the work, come back to this spot right here, because when you're doing the work, the third and final thing is I want you to journal out your answers. Or if you want to type it out, type it out. But I need you to take your thoughts that you're going to get and put them onto paper. This is going to allow you to make sure that you can manifest what you set out to do, so that in 6 months from now, when I'm coaching you in the GSD Planner 2024 and we reflect, let me tell you what, these next 6 months are going to be awesome. So in your God-sized dreams planner 2023, don't worry if you don't have it. Well, you can still get it or just listen here. Some of the questions I asked you, I'll just give you a few. I asked you, what are your big five for 2023? What are your big five? Can you remember what your big five of 2023 was or is? I also asked you, what's your theme for 2023? Your theme. For me, my theme is why wait? Why wait? Now, it took me about 2 weeks to come up with that at the end of 2022, but even now in July of 2023, it is relevant. It's relevant as it has helped shape some of the decisions I've made personally and professionally, and it will continue to guide my decisions that I'll be making in the next 6 months. So what's your theme for 2023? And is it still applicable? If it's not, then change it. You're allowed to change your answers, but I want you to make sure that your theme is going to help drive you for the next 6 months. And then in your GSD Planner 2023, one of the questions is, what is the meaningful mission that you're on? What's your meaningful mission? So for me, it's how can I motivate and inspire people to be the best that they can be and help them create impact every single day? What's the mission that you're behind? And I want you to think about that. And for the next 6 months, what's that meaningful mission that you're on? So with that being said, are you ready to dive in? I've got 5 thoughts, 5 ways, 5 questions, so to speak, to help you win the second half of 2023. Number 1, write it down in your notes if you'd like to. Number 1 is reflect on the first 6 months of 2023. Reflect on what worked and what didn't work in this first half of the year. And then I want you to make the necessary changes that will help you dominate the second half. So upon reflection, number 1 is, what worked well for you? Now, go back all the way to January. You're like, oh my gosh, January seems like forever ago. Well, it was 6 months ago. 6 months ago was January, and you started off the year with a lot of enthusiasm and energy for all the things that were going to happen, right? You had your New Year's resolutions and goals. Does anyone remember what they were? I hope so. But when I was looking at my GSD Planner 2023 back from late December, early January of this year, I was launching a new group, Impact X. And this is a group that I'm still coaching. It's a small, intimate group of high performers who want the most out of business and life. And it addresses all areas. This is not just Fit Pros like my mastermind group. So I started that in February of 2023. And that was a goal. In the first 6 months, I got my website done, which I've shared with you on previous episodes. Heck, here on the podcast. We've had some epic podcast episodes, especially in that whole reinvention series that just wrapped up, where I shared my whole and entire heart and soul and really set the stage for what's going to happen here in the next 6 months as well. But I want you to think about what worked well and what didn't work well, personally and professionally. Were the things that didn't go your way? Did you get thrown any curveballs in life? What was that didn't go well? Now you think about that and write it down. What didn't work well? Which coincides with, what were your top lessons? Now, your lessons could be from your wins, or your lessons could be from your losses. But here in number one, upon reflection, one of my lessons was stepping into your assignment. I shared recently that on Father's Day, I had the opportunity to speak at Pastor David Jeremiah's church, Shadow Mountain Community Church here in San Diego. And Pastor Jay's been a client of mine close for a decade now. And it was scary. It was outside my comfort zone of delivering a sermon 3 times in that weekend to thousands of people. But it was faith-based. So it was outside my comfort zone, where I wasn't just like this coaching you, or I wasn't training my folks, or just delivering a quote keynote and firing people up. This was my story and my sermon on a fatherly's love. So what were your top lessons? One for me was stepping into the assignment that sometimes you're being called to do. Also, staying close to your intuition, for me, in close connection with your intuition, constantly listening to your intuition. And to me, listening to your intuition is kind of what I said in my Get Your Mind Right book, chapter 9, tap into the whispers. The whispers are intuition. What are the whispers that you're hearing? And then just one more lesson that I put down here is how just live in-person events are the most powerful way to connect and get things done. If you want to move lives, power of live events, in-person events. I've been in Montana now for 2 different events in Whitefish with my God-Sized Dreams program and the Mastermind. Perform Better. We just had that here on July 1st, right? As you're listening to this, July, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whenever you're listening to it. Perform Better. We've had 2. I've got Chicago later in July in person, and Providence in August. There's nothing like the power of being in the room. Be in the room. And when you're in the room, it's not always about what the speaker is saying. Well, speakers like to think it is, but part of the magic and the secret sauce of a live in-person event is the networking and connection that happens in the back of the room, or while breaking bread with the other attendees of the event. So a lot of that happens outside of the formal setting as well, in the networking and social events. So those are just some of mine, but I want you to write down what worked well, what didn't work well, and what were some of your top lessons of 2023 thus far. Number 2 of 5. I've got 5 of these bad boys. Number 2 is, what changes do you need to make for the next 6 months? What are the changes that you need to make personally and professionally for the next 6 months if you want to win? Just like a football coach is going to come in at halftime and say, man, we're getting our butts kicked here. We didn't expect this kind of coverage, or them rolling up into a cover 2 when we were preparing for 3 or man. And we got to put some different wrinkles in the game plan so we can go out there and throw against cover 2 versus cover 3 or man. So here's what we're going to do, team. Got to have those wrinkles. The best coaches are going to do that. So my question to you here is, what changes do you need to make? Well, let's start with this. What do you need to eliminate from your life? What do you need to eliminate? What is robbing you of time, energy, or money right now? Get rid of it. Stop doing it. If you know it, then stop. You got to eliminate the things that aren't working. Eliminate it. Number 2, where should you focus your time, energy, or money right now? Where should you focus your time, energy, or money? Where should you focus your time or energy? What do you need to do? Write it down. Part of that Here is what habits should you eliminate or add, or maybe even double down on. Maybe there's some habits you're doing really well, your morning routine, your workout habits. Maybe your health is really at an all-time high or not. What should you do when it comes to your habits? Here's part number 2. What changes do you need to make for the next 6 months? What habits? And what can you do to improve or increase your productivity? Listen, at the end of the day, if you want to make more results and get more results at the end of this year, and you sit down and, man, Todd, episode 309, I course corrected and I made some changes right here, and it allowed me to be more productive, and I increased my efficiency and productivity. Guess what? Now, all of a sudden, you're going to start doing what you set out to do here at the halftime, at the 6-month mark. And also, even in your business, think about when I say, okay, what changes do you need to make for the next 6 months? Are there any personnel changes? Are there any personnel changes in your business or your career, your office, that you're like, hey, I've got to either add this or get rid of this person. It's just not working out. You know, if there's got to be some changes that need to be made, right? So what are they, and when are you going to make them? Are you going to wait and react when it's too late, when it's always too late, and it takes you 3 to 5 months or 6 months to find somebody? Or you're like, okay, here's how we're going to get better. We've got to add some people on the bench. We got to have our bench deeper, or our bench is too deep and our payroll's too high. We have to reduce that, right? It's that fine line when you're an entrepreneur and you're in business, you're constantly tweaking the team to make sure that, are they adding value? Are they doing what's necessary to help move the needle when it comes to driving your meaningful mission? Can I get an amen, anyone, on that? Good. I heard y'all like, yeah, amen, TD, amen. Good. So the third of 5, and this is the big one. This is the big kahuna. What are your big 5 goals for the rest of 2023? What are the big 5 for the next 6 months? What are they? Only you know what you want to accomplish in the next 6 months. So when you sit down in December and you get my brand new GSD Planner 2024, you can bet your bottom dollar that one of my many questions is going to be, review your big 5. Now, maybe the big 5 are the same as you set in January. For me, they're not going to be. Why? Because I got rid of some. Some that I thought 6 months ago were going to be important, I've already eliminated. I shared with you on a recent podcast that I was going to have a low tier membership, few dollars a month, and all of these different aspects. I cut it out. That was a big 5 for 2023. Nope, gone, gonzo. So guess what? We're replacing that with, quote, bigger goals or more important goals that are resonating deeper with the strategy of, how do we reach more people to motivate, inspire the hearts and souls of people worldwide to create the impact we want to create? So you, and only you, can decide what are the big 5 goals for the rest of 2023. Think about that right now. I'll share a couple of mine, but mine aren't important to you. Mine are important to me because that's part of my mission. But what I want you to think about for you, based on your talents, your gifts, your divine uniqueness, is, what are those 3 to 5 goals, those big 5 things that if I do these, I'm going to reflect in 2023, December, and say, wow, it really was a successful 2023. So for me, and I shared this a couple weeks ago on the pod, was we're getting ready for our biggest launch of, I'll call it, of Todd Durkin Enterprise history. We've got a brand new Todd Durkin Impact Life Coaching Certification launching late summer. Yeah. Don't worry, you haven't heard about it yet, but because you're a listener to the podcast, you're hearing about it. And my team and I have been working arduously on this. This is a complete life coaching certification program that I'm putting my name, reputation, and systems of 25 years of coaching in the trenches in all the business and life coaching I've done into what will be a signature program. That's coming later on, but it's a big 5 goal for me. Is if I'm putting my name and my brand and image and reputation, all of it, I'm going to make sure that it is world-class in every aspect, right? That's a big 5 goal. Impact X coaching program. We launched Team 1 in February of 2023. We'll be launching Team 2, Impact X, high performers, primarily non-fit pros who want to get to the next level, in Q4, the end of this year. So it fits in the big 5 goals for the rest of 2023. See, it's macro here. We've got another live event in October. This will be for my mastermind group, which is Fit Pros. Yes, my Impact X group will be going to that as well. And there'll be a few spots for other high performers who want in. So we have not announced that yet, but I'm sharing with you here at the halftime mark of things coming up. And I want you to look forward to the next 6 months for your life, your business, your relationships of what you want to do. Fourth 105 I have down is book 3 more keynotes for 2023. So I love to do the speaking, and I've got a decent amount of keynotes, but we're looking for 3 more keynotes. So, hey, if you got an event or want to have an event, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you out and your team. And the last one for me, and I want you to do for you, is personal goals. What are your personal? And this could be relationships, could be family, could be your health. I've got to attend 80% of Luke's football games. He'll be a junior this fall. So I want to go to almost every football game. Now, he plays on the East Coast at Davidson College in North Carolina. It ain't easy, but guess what? I got 2 more seasons. 2 more. That's it. Boom. So a couple I can't go to because of weddings and other commitments for keynotes and things like that. But 80% of Luke's games there. A trip with the family. We've got couple of trips coming up here later in July and time off in December. Your mellow yellow time has to get put on a calendar now. Otherwise, it's not going to get done. Right. So I've got that. I've got dropping 8 more pounds and 3% body fat. Yeah. I love having health goals and fitness goals. And I feel so good that I am no longer in pain. People are like, how's your back? My back is great. I just coached my tail off at a football camp all day, given the energy. And it's great to have goals when it comes to your own physicality and your health. And whether that be with your weight or your body fat, or if there's any other health conditions you got going on, you set your goals. Right. And your goals can be micro or macro, but these are the big 5 goals for the rest of 2023. And when you follow my system all the way down to in the GSD planner into your 10 forms of wealth and 3 and 30, you now have your 6-month goals. You have your 90-day goals, your 30-day goals, your weekly goals as well. So your big 5 goals for the rest of 2023, write them down. Number 4. What's your BHAG for the rest of 2023? If there's nothing else that you do on this podcast, I want to know what your BHAG is. Your big, hairy, audacious goal. Your BHAG. If you want to call it a BSAG, you can. Your big, scary, audacious goal, that would be your BSAG. Whatever that is, you could call it a BHAG, a BSAG, or your GSD, your God-sized dream for the rest of the year. What is that? Well, if there's all the stars align, you're like, hey, this is a pipe dream. Hey, Todd, man, this would be like the dream come true, right? What is that? That thing that kind of gives you some juice. What is your GSD, or what is your BHAG for the rest of 2023? Share it with me. Put it on social media. Put it out there, because guess what? When you have a BHAG and you share it, all of a sudden someone's like, oh, guess what? I know someone who can help you with that. So whatever that may be. I've got actually a couple. I'll just share one of them. One of them that I've been writing on paper, and I'm actually getting ready as I record this to go to Montana for a few days with the family. Why? Because number one, I love Montana, but the more time I spend away, the more time I dream. And when I dream and I put things on paper, all of a sudden that creates the clarity that we want. And one of the things I have down here is I'm dreaming of this impact life transformation challenge, this challenge that I will most likely issue sometime later this year. It's not done. It's a BHAG. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal that I want to create this global challenge of body, mind, and soul, including the faith and the spirit walk of how do you get your body right? How do you get your mind right? How do you get your soul right? And here are the ways to do it. I'm going to challenge you to do it. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I don't have the details on it. It's a BHAG, right? It's a thought right now that as I put things on paper, it's there. So the fifth and final question that I have down here for you today is this. How are you going to accomplish these goals? How are you going to accomplish your big five and even your BHAG? What is it you're going to do to accomplish what you just set out you're going to do? Right? Now, one is you actually got to do the work. So it does you no good if you listen to my voice right now about those 5 ways that are going to help you win the second half of 2023. You got to make sure that you write them down as well. Put your thoughts on it. Other things you can certainly hire a coach to help you be held accountable, right? And provide you wisdom on how to do it. Many times coaches, the right coaches for you, can help you turn the switch on. Maybe your coach is a trainer, and I've known trainers all over the world. So wherever you are around the world, you let me know what city and state, country you live in. I probably know a coach who can help you when it comes to your physical health or your mindset. Love mindset coaching, right? But coaches help you think big, inspire you, and they help you dream big. Is it a business coach? Is it a life coach? Is it a spiritual coach? But maybe it's time that you need to hire a coach because they help hold you accountable after they pull the dream out of you. It's already in there. You got it in there. Now, maybe you need or want to hire somebody. Along with a coach, and this has been part of my DNA since 2007 when I started my mastermind group based on Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Maybe you want to join a coaching group or a mastermind to put you in an environment that's conducive to dreaming, getting away into a world-class environment to think bigger and connect and network with other fire-breathing dragons, other people who like, hey, when I'm in a collective group with 10, 20, 50, 100, couple hundred, whatever it may be, I believe in the power of constant perpetual growth. And yes, a coach can help you. And yes, even a mastermind type group, right? If you would love for me to coach you, I would be honored. I would love for you to be in my mastermind group if you're a fit pro, or if you're a high performer or want to be high performer, or a previous high performer that's struggling right now, looking for that next step in the next season, then I could get you in my Impact X program team too that'll be coming up later this year. Or maybe it's a group that I know based on what your goals are. And then the last point of that is, who are 3 people that you need to connect with to help you accomplish your goals? Write them down. Who are 3 people that you need to connect with? And maybe it's people you know in your community. Maybe it's a pastor. Maybe it's a trainer or coach. Maybe it's a mentor. But who are 3 people that can help you accomplish whatever the goals you have? Right. And I get DMs or emails quite a bit with, hey, I'm looking to start my business. What is some advice that you would have for me? Or, hey, I'm looking to sell my business. What would be some advice that you have for me? I may know it, or I may know people who know the answers on it, but I want you to put down 3 people that you need to connect with to help you accomplish your goals. Why? Because when you write it down and you put it in your daily action step of, I need to reach out to so-and-so, and you put it on your to-do list and you email them, you text them, or you pick up the old phone and you call them and leave them a message if they don't answer, now all of a sudden you start getting some motion, right? And that's a really good thing. One more question. I have an and then some for you. I told you I had 5 thoughts, 5 ways to help you win the second part of 2023. But one more. I've got a question for you, and this is more infinite wisdom type thing. I love this question, even when I'm at a retreat or I'm leading a group. I would say this: If you were coaching you, what would you tell yourself that you need to do to get to where you want to go? Let me repeat that. If you were coaching you, what would you tell yourself you need to do to get to where you want to go? So, is that a number that you want to hit? Maybe you want to hit $100,000 or $250,000 or $500,000, $1,000,000 or $10 million, whatever the number is. But maybe it's a number you want to hit, or maybe it's a certain level of influence or impact that you would like to be able to measure. Or is it more time on you or your health or your relationships? Maybe you want to go deeper in your relationship with your spouse and you want to become a better lover, a better listener. You want to make it more about them than you, right? So if you are coaching you, now be real, this is real talk. As a coach, not just saying your coach is going to tell you what to do. A great coach is going to have you answer that question and then hold you accountable for what you truly deeply need to get out of that session or out of that move that you need to make. Right? Does that make sense? So what is that? That answer is probably within you, and it probably has been. But as that coach, as I am right now, I told you I'm going to coach you, pulls it out of you and say, hey, Todd, here's what I need to do to win the second half of 2023. This is at the core of it. This is what I need to do. And this is real talk of what I need to do with my personal health, with my mental health, and to get the clarity and the focus. This is what I need to do. Can you help me with that? Yes, as a coach, I or we can help that. But you got to make sure you answer that question. What would you tell yourself that you need to do? And then what are we going to do to get it? What is that? So again, personal. Let's start with your personal side of things. Is it your relationship? Is it your health? Is it your energy, your finances, your spiritual walk, whatever it is? You answer that question. If you were coaching you, what would you tell yourself you need to do to get to where you want to go? Or professionally, for the second half of 2023, as you storm out of the locker room here in just a moment, professionally, what is it? Where can you focus more time and energy and money? How can you do a better job marketing your product or your program, whatever it is? How can you amplify your brand? What do you need to do? Who can you elevate on your existing team, or who do you need to hire? How can you generate more revenue and increase your profit? Well, why? All of these things matter, but only you can determine which ones you want to focus on, because ultimately that allows you to create more success, which allows you to give back more to make a difference, what I call creating that impact. So my friends, today, as we wrap up today's show, I would love to know some of your answers. If you want to email them to me, email them. You want to DM them, text them, whatever you want to do, get them over to me or get them over to a coach or loved one to say, hey, here's what I need to do to win the second half of 2023. What I don't want to have happen is nothing. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. like if you don't make the moves that need to be made, then there's going to be no movement in the direction that you need to go. So you will not just achieve what you say or what you think if you just show up. I need you to really have some thoughts and dreams, and here's what I'm going to do, and then have an action step behind it. Yoda, his favorite quote, right? What he says, do or do not. There is no try. Do or do not. So as you listen and as you dream and you write your answers on paper and you think about it, you write about it, you get some specific steps to reverse engineer these next 6 months of what you would like to do, and you set an intention and you are very specific at outlining that, then all of a sudden you outline it, you'll say, what needs to change? What do you need to do? And you write them out, and you journal them, and you flow, and you pray about them. You share them with your spouse, your coach, your team, whoever it may be. It's the same questions right now that I'm asking the people who I coach it. my mastermind group, the Impact Xers. These are the questions I'm asking, but guess what? I'm going to hold them accountable to it. And I want you to be held accountable as well. So it's time to step up. It's time to get ready to dominate the rest of 2023, right? You got 6 months, 6 months. And before we know it, boom, we're on the holidays. He's like, oh man, okay, let me get ready for a great 2024. Yeah, 2023 was good, but it wasn't the level I thought when I started this whole process. So get ready to make those changes now. Come out. We always say in the first few minutes of a third quarter, that's when the magic happens. You got to set the tone. So when you think about the best coaches, they motivate their team just before they go out on the field so they can ball out and execute the revised game plan and go out and play their best. And that's what I want you to do here in July. Oh, it's the summertime. I'll wait till Labor Day. I don't want you waiting till Labor Day and the Labor Day podcast comes out. I want you to think about this. Your 2 minutes of fire here coming out. It's like your final chug of Gatorade or drinking your protein shake and you're sucking down a few more orange slices at halftime. And then it's time. It's time to go out and dominate. So think about executing what you just said that you need to do. And as you go back and you start to write all of the thoughts right now, here's your final couple minutes. You ready? Good. Here we go. All up, everybody in right now. No more messing around. You got me? No more messing around. Halftime is over. We got 6 months. 6 months to dominate the rest of 2023. That's it. And then we sit down, we reflect on the entire year. But I don't want us reflecting thinking, man, if we don't make those changes, if we didn't make those changes at halftime, well, we wouldn't have lost the game. I don't want you to lose the game. I want you to win the game by going all out. But you got to jump out of the gate strong right now. These next few minutes, days, weeks are absolutely crucial for the second half of domination. We got to set the tone. So my question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do as part of the cog in the wheel to make sure that we get done what we need to get done? So listen up. This second half, I can't predict what's going to happen. I can't predict the circumstances of what's going to be thrown at us. I don't know what they're going to do to us. But what I do know is this. We can control what we can control. And when we can control what we can control, we're not going to get knocked off course. We're going to keep hammering. We're going to keep on our focus. We're going to stay dialed into our habits, our personal habits, with our workout, with our nutrition, with our hydration. Every single thing matters because we need to weather the storm. Weather the storm, my friend. You got me? Weather the storm. So let's come out fast. Let's come out hard and let's weather every darn storm that comes our way in the next 6 months. And then when you get a chance to capitalize and finish, then finish. Finish all the way through. And don't let your foot off the gas pedal. Can you hear me? Don't let the foot off the gas pedal. Yeah, when you come off on the sideline, you rest here in August or July, whenever it is, then rest. But when you put the foot on the pedal, we got to roll. And when we come back into this huddle right here at the end of 2023, we have a little kumbaya as they gather up. Let's go. Let's talk about 2023. I don't want us hanging our heads. I don't want us looking back thinking, man, I wish I would have made those changes back at halftime. I want us to know that we did every single thing possible to win this year, to win this game. You got me? You got it? So let's go get it. Let's go. Go out there, have some fun. Play loose. Don't play so robotic. Let's get out there, play the game the way the game is meant to be played. So let's all get in here. Get your hand, visualize this hand coming in the huddle, and let's go get it. Impact on 3. Impact on me. 1, 2, 3. Impact. I love that. Hey, happy 4th of July, everyone. Go out there and kick some butt in the back half here of 2023. And if I can serve you in any way, you hit me up. But let's make the changes that are necessary to have a great rest of 2023. God bless you. Go out there, have some fun. Remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go create impact.